All right. If you love Harley Davidsons and real estate, you are going to be in for a treat today. Hello, everyone. I'm Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy. And our guest today on Between Two Doors is Randy Akins. Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors. Hey, Randy, how are you?
Good, Nate. How are you?
I'm doing good. Getting ready for the 4th of July this weekend. So we got a lot of cooking out and fireworks to set off. And uh, somewhere out there today has 10 fingers, and after the weekend, they probably will have less than 10.
I saw that too today. Is like,
You-
yeah, there might be some people come Sunday may not have all 10 digits.
So, I hope not, but statistically, yeah, it's there. Well, welcome to the podcast. You've got some great branding, and I definitely wanted to highlight that. And tell me, Harley-Davidson motorcycles.
So, first, I just want to thank you for having me on today. I appreciate you reaching out. Motorcycles have just become a passion again. I rode dirt bikes when I was a kid. When I was in the Air Force, I totaled a crotch rocket. Um, 2 years later, bought a fully dressed motorcycle. It was a Honda. And then after I got married, no more motorcycles. And so, I guess my wife gave in because I only have one kid at home still. So she's 15. But I purchased my motorcycle last year, actually, right at a year ago.
Okay.
And, I just love getting out. It's a chance to clear your head. And it's probably because the wind blows through one ear and goes out the other. I don't know. But it is a great time to reflect, great time to pray, and a great time just to get in your thoughts. And so
Hmm.
I ride my motorcycle to closings. I ride my motorcycle. I've got saddlebags. I put my drone in my saddlebag, go out and drone a property. I go to closings on my motorcycle. So I try and incorporate that as much as I can to reach out to the motorcycle community.
Yeah. What style motorcycle did you get?
So it is a cruiser. So
Cruiser.
anyone that knows motorcycles, they know it's a cruiser. And that's what I like to do. I'm too old for speed. I outgrew the speed. And now my favorite time to ride is on these country roads, county roads,
Yeah.
and where my speed may be 40 to 45 miles per hour. It's not too much wind. I can just take in the scenery, the sights, the smells, the sunsets. It's just an awesome time.
Nice. Now, does your wife ride too?
Every now and then,
Okay.
she's scared.
Yeah.
She was
Hey, so when I found out, with your branding with Harley Davidson, and then we got this scheduled, I went down to Harley Davidson shop over in McKinney, Texas, and there's a particular bike that I've always liked. It's the Softail, and
yes.
I got on that, and the guy came over, started asking me a whole bunch of questions, and he basically, I don't know, I describe it like getting fitted at a shoe store. Like they
Right.
knew what they are talking about there, right? And so, um, had me sit on a whole bunch of bikes, and ended up, although I don't remember what it was exactly. I love the Softail look. That motorcycle is fantastic, and but they sat me on another one ultimately, so I had a full comparison, I guess, of how your body adjusts, I guess.
Right.
And there was one particular bike in there. Man, it fit like a glove. Fit like a glove. How I walked out of there without a motorcycle, I don't know. But I was like, they tried hard to get me to sit by that day, and I'm like, I can't today. And
Yeah,
so,
can't pull the trigger. Well, a lot of people don't think about that, but it is like fitting for a shoe.
yeah.
One is, what's your plans? How are you going to ride a motorcycle? Are you going to take, long trips? Do you need luggage or a place to put luggage or clothing for overnight stay? Are you just going to be what they call a cafe racer? You're just going to go up to the coffee shop. You're going to go to a restaurant. Or do you have that need for speed? Are you going to want some kind of, a Suzuki, um,
Hmm.
just like a racing motorcycle that just scream, so it really depends
Right.
on the style. And a lot of people don't think about, seat height and that type thing too, because, you know,
Right.
you can be standing on your tippy toes or you can be standing flat footed at a stop, so it is like fitting a shoe.
Nice. Let's see. So we go way back. Our families have known each other. And there was a huge gap in life when I didn't see you, and then all of a sudden you showed up in Texas. So tell me your life journey, where you started from, and I guess where we met, and then where you are now.
So I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee, and grew up there, went to high school there, grew up in a real small town right outside of Nashville. It's where all the country music singers live. And then went in the Air Force, stationed in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, tough duty station. And then um, after my tour in the Air Force, I went back to Nashville. And at that time, I got into bartending and restaurant management, that type thing. And then at that point, I met my wife and we dated for 6 weeks and then got married. July
Wow.
27th, we will be married 37 years.
Wow, good for you. Good for y'all. Wow.
So we were in Alabama, got transferred to Alabama, stayed there maybe 4 years, and then got an opportunity to come to Dallas. And I transferred with a company to Dallas in sales. And from there, kind of hopscotched around a few little, areas inside the Metroplex. And then in 2020, we moved out to Paradise, Texas, in Wise County, and we moved in the country. I'm an hour from Fort Worth,
Mm.
and
What?
we absolutely love country living. I have
Yeah, it's
3 acres. I've done the goats, I've done chickens, I've done a lot of different things. And they make better neighbors than neighborhoods sometimes to me.
what let you why'd you join the Air Force?
Um, I really didn't have a choice. There was no college in the future for Randy,
Uh-huh.
and not meaning um, that that I couldn't get into college. I just mean that there wasn't an opportunity. Meaning, one, my family. I left home when I was 17. I was still in high school when I left home,
Okay.
and um, my option was struggle or go into the military. And so I chose to go in the Air Force to one, buy some time. And I recommend it for everyone. To me, it makes more sense to graduate high school, either work somewhere or go into the military maybe for 4 years. Because to me, at 18, 19 years old,
Yeah.
I don't know if you really are ready to make a decision on what you want to do with your life.
Right.
And so it took me 4 years to sort that out and gave me time to put some self discipline and to mature.
Yeah. Yeah, as a fellow veteran, I can totally identify with that. And I think that was one of the big key reasons why I enlisted was I figured I was going to get some time, figure some things out, grow up a little bit, get a roof over my head, and income, and some food, right? And so,
I
yeah, and
It was kind of like prison, except not behind bars.
yeah, right.
And they gave me a gun.
And the game, yeah. You sure y'all want to do that? What's something from when you're 4 years in? What is there something that you took away from the military that you still see in your life today?
I think it's just being on time, um, being respectful of other people's time,
Yeah.
and just that self-discipline to
Yeah.
you know to do. If I say I'm going to do something, unless I passed away in between the time that I'm supposed to be there, I'm going to be there. And so I think it helped also develop you to become a man of your word.
Yeah. Good. So Harleys, let's jump it. We touched a little bit on it. When did you first did you grow up on bikes? Did you your first bike motorcycle? When was that?
I was one day my dad came home and he brought home a Yamaha 60
Mm-hmm.
motorcycle. And it was a little enduro. It was orange and white. And um, I rode that thing every day. We had a big field behind our house that somebody owned that let us kind of build us a little track on. And I would collect, a lot of people listen to this may not can relate to this, but I would collect returnable bottles that people threw out the windows of their cars. And
Mm-hmm.
at that time, gas was 75 cents a gallon. And so I would collect enough bottles to go buy a gallon of gas so I could ride my motorcycle.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Yeah. I
And
can
so from
relate.
there, I moved up to a larger, Enduro to a 175. Then my dad got rid of the bikes out of nowhere. He just said, "Hey, I need to get these back to your uncle, sell them back to your uncle." You know, um, and then I didn't ride again until I got the Kawasaki GPZ 550 when I was in the Air Force, and that thing was fast. I mean, 120, 130 miles an hour. I was always doing speed.
Right.
But the day that I totaled it, I was doing 35, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It didn't kill me.
No. Um, what would someone that doesn't own a bike, and we'll get into real estate here in a little bit, but for someone who doesn't own a bike, a Harley, what do they not understand?
I don't think they understand just the freedom of being in the element, and that could, the element could be tough too. I mean, it can be rain, it can be, cold, but it's just being out there. You are so much more aware of your surrounding versus riding around in a steel cage
Yeah.
because the a car with the windows up isolates you from the nature and the outdoors, whereas a motorcycle you're thrust right into the middle. I can smell if somebody's smoking some brisket.
Mm-hmm.
I also can smell that dead skunk on the road. I think, any kind of roadkill. So, uh, just the smells, the feels, the wind. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Here lately, it's been really windy, and I don't really like to ride when it's really windy. But I turn music on and just it's a getaway. One of the things that I found out in my life that's important to me is alone time,
Mm-hmm.
and that just gives me alone time. I'm
Yeah.
by myself, and that's a big value to me. It lets you clear your head.
Wow. You It's an opportunity to solve a lot of problems too. Um, favorite
or
place you've
create
ridden
some.
your or create them. Yeah. What okay, favorite place to ride and then what's your dream ride? I mean, is there a place out there you just gotta go cruise?
So there's my favorite ride is in the evening around sunset because Texas has some beautiful sunsets. Um, Unfortunately, it's warmer that time of the day than it is, for a sunrise ride. But again, it is mostly going to be your county roads.
Hmm.
I don't ride in the Metroplex. I don't ride with all those cars and people distracted with phones. I ride where a deer might jump out in front of me or a possum on the road or whatever, but curvy, hillies, I call them twisties, county roads. That's my favorite road. Now, my dream ride would be in um, we went to San Francisco last year, first time to go to California, and all I'd ever heard of was bad things about it. Um, but I really enjoyed it and I want to go back. And we went from San Francisco over to Santa Cruz,
Hmm.
and there is a redwood state park that you can go, and it actually goes over some mountains and then over to the coast, to the west coast. That is the most beautiful road. There was a ton of motorcycles, ton of little sports cars, doing the driving, going really fast. I want to do that. That would be
Wow.
a dream ride.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'll have to get to do that. I'll have to get to
Yeah.
do
And
that.
then, yeah. And then there's Tail of the Dragon in East Tennessee and North Carolina. And it's a strip of road, goes to the mountains, but there's over 100 turns in like 30 miles. And so
Wow.
it's a really famous place to ride. So
Nice.
both of those would be on my to-do
All
list.
right. All right. All right. So you've worn a few different hats, military, restaurateur, sales. What got you into real estate?
You know, it's I had a friend that was in real estate, and she used a phrase that I really don't like. I never have liked it, and it was, Randy, you can sell ice cubes to an Eskimo. And I don't like that phrase because it's all about sales and not helping people.
Mm-hmm.
But she talked me into getting my license, and I got my license. And I know that real estate is a tool that can be used to help people achieve their dreams, whether they're selling or buying, relocating, downsizing. It's just something to help people achieve. And just like in the restaurant business, the military, it's service related. And that's probably my why.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Now you met your wife. 6 weeks later, y'all were married.
Yes, sir.
You're coming up on what anniversary?
37.
37. Audience, what's the secret? Or your opinion or advice on a great marriage?
Marriages always work, and it's something you constantly have to work on. And in the relationship, there always has to be a hero.
Uh-huh.
And the hero is the one that says, I'm sorry, or I was wrong, or whatever. And it's to not be selfish. That's really a secret to a marriage, is caring for that person. Um, there's times that it's been tough, but there's been times that it's been easy. And probably the secret is, before you say I do, you really need to think about I will. And that means, when it does get tough, that you're not going to, bail out, you're going to stick to that covenant of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think keeps, people that have been married for a long period of time. It wasn't just a ceremony, it was a covenant.
Mm-hmm. So you're living out in the country. Is it fair to say real estate in the country, is that a niche for you? Are there specific
I don't
areas of
really,
real estate or
I don't know that I really have a niche. I've done, one of my like like my second transaction I ever did was a commercial transaction selling commercial property. And I mean, I was new. I mean, I had only been a realtor for maybe 6 months.
yeah.
And I went and I had a really, really good broker at the time. This is back when I was with Keller Williams. And I went and talked to Liz about it and asked her if she wanted to bring someone else in on this because it was commercial. And she just looked at me and she said, Randy, you're a smart guy. And she goes, you can do this. You're capable of doing it and you can do a commercial, you know, some some uh brokers won't let someone new do a commercial deal. But I've done commercial, I've done residential in the city, Fort Worth, Keller, Tarrant County, Dallas County. Um, and then I've done out here in Wise County. I've done raw land. I've done uh, ranch, farm and ranch. I've done leases. I never thought I would see myself doing leases, but I just did a commercial lease last week. And so I don't know that I really have a niche, um, but I do kind of specialize in properties that are hard to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I had I've had two properties recently that I've sold that I listed and sold, and both of them had two dwellings on them. One was 7.5 acres, and the other one was 21, almost 22 acres
Right.
that had two dwellings. Well, that's a you've got to find somebody that really wants two houses. You
Right.
know, that doesn't fit a lot of people.
It doesn't.
And both of them sold, within 4 months in today's market. So um, I think that's probably something that I kind of specialize in is properties or that not distressed, but properties that are um, out of the ordinary.
Right. A little bit unique there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see it on the lending side, not very often. So you're right. Those are going to present some unique, um, I guess, a smaller pool of buyers
right.
versus someone that's just looking for single family residential, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. And it's,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, it's kind of like people, pools, everybody's, what's your opinion on pools? Well, it depends. Do you want a pool or not? If that's what if that's what you're looking for, the number of houses that have pools is obviously a lot less. So,
Right. And I
um,
don't, my house that we live out here in the country, we have a pool. And when I bought the house, that was the one thing that was the one no for me on the property we're currently in, because pools are expensive and pools are um, labor intensive.
yeah,
And the, a lot of people think it attracts people to buying a home if there's a pool. No, not necessarily, because 50-50, half people may want a pool, half may not. And so you
right,
just took out half of, the buyers that are out there. So
right. Tell me about Paradise, Texas, and the surrounding areas that you serve. People that are listening to this podcast, I mean, they could be anywhere in the country. If they're moving to Paradise, what do you want them to know?
um, Paradise is a very family oriented um, community. It's a very tight community. The school system is unique here. They do have the Ten Commandments on the wall. I made sure of it in every classroom. Um, the My son was in um, kind of sent by private school, but also did some homeschool. And we moved out here, and he was adamant he wanted to go to public school and he wanted to play football. Well, at that time, this community, he was one of two black kids um, in the school district. You know, my family consists of one biological son, one adopted son, and two adopted daughters. And so James went to the school, and the community probably wasn't, it's almost like the movie Blindside. You got two white parents, they bring a black kid into a majority a white school, and he goes and plays football. And it's funny, he actually played the same position in football. He protected the blind side on the offensive line. And he just had the ability to gain friendship. He could write the book on how to win friends and influence people. But he was in a school, like I said, that didn't have many Black or African American people. And by his senior year, he was voted homecoming king.
Wow.
And like I said, it's a small school. His graduating class, I think, maybe had 90 students.
Uh-huh.
And so it's a farm community, a lot of horses, a lot of cattle. So you either rope or you raise cattle, one of the two, or neither, like me. You do real
Mm-hmm.
estate. But that's kind of the community, surrounding areas. Springtown in Parker County, one of the fastest growing counties in the state. You've got Jack County, you've got um, Wise County, which I'm in. Denton's pretty close. One of the towns that I've sold several listings was Alvord, Texas. And the reason is because it's right on 281, 287 that brings you right into Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not far off the beaten trail. Now, if you want the fishing community, the fishing life, the lake life, then you got Runaway Bay. So the county in this area offers everything except for, sandy beaches in the Gulf, or an Atlantic or Pacific Ocean, but it has something for
Mm-hmm.
everyone here.
Nice. Sounds fantastic. What would you tell people that are waiting or for that perfect quote unquote perfect time to buy? What would you tell them about a home?
Um, I would say you need to do your homework and know exactly what you're looking for. I think a lot of people get into starting this process and looking at a lot of stuff, but they really don't have their goals in place.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know exactly what you're looking for, then it's probably out there. The second thing that I would probably say is don't worry about the interest rates. People are so, you know, in COVID, the interest rates were down. My interest rate on my house is 2.75.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are gone. You probably never see them again.
Right.
Um, 10 years, I mean, back when we bought our first house in the 90s, we had what they called a good interest rate. Guess what you think it was?
Oh gosh, it was probably somewhere around 10,
Nine,
9.
9%.
Yeah.
And that was a good interest rate.
Yeah.
Well, we're hovering at, 5.5 to 6, on interest
Yep.
rates. And that's fair to me. It's not,
Yeah. It's
It's not
below the
crazy.
average. You know,
It
average
is.
is like 7, somewhere around right above 7. But yeah, we're, you know,
So
mid to
stop
upper
waiting.
fives. Yeah.
Stop waiting is my advice. Bye.
Well, and you look at appreciation in homes in the Texas market, certainly in North Texas market, where you're at, um, you know, waiting a year could cost you. One, it's going to cost you the equity you could have gained, but definitely you're paying for a home that's appreciated in value, and that's going to reflect in your mortgage payment, or require a higher down payment to buy the same house. So that's
Exactly.
a
No,
yeah,
we
and you
bought
not
we
have.
bought
I
we
was going to
bought
say, go
where
ahead.
we live. We bought where we live now, and um, about a month and a half after we had purchased the house, the realtor called me out of the blue that sold us the property. And of course, I was the buyer side. And she said, "How did you know?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Do you know what the equity in your house is?" This is 2 months after we bought it, the house. It was it was like a 40% increase in equity of the home.
Wow.
I mean, just right away. And so, like you said, if you wait, you will miss the equity as the prices continue to climb on, real estate, whether it's a new purchase or whether it's an existing home.
Yeah. Wow. Um, I want to shift gears a little bit because I mean you've been building relationships across a lot of different walks in life, and you and your wife do something pretty, uh, I think, pretty spectacular. Tell me about Chosen Ones, and we'll come back. We're going to do a whole podcast on this, but tell me, I guess, the 30,000 foot view of what
Sure.
the Chosen Ones is.
So, Vicky and I started the adoption process through um, foster care, where we found out that you could get children of all ages, but even babies through foster care. And if you were the foster parent, then you had the first choice of whether to adopt. And so at that time, we only had one son, our oldest son, Spencer. And he was an only son. My wife didn't have any more children. And we decided to seek other avenues of enlarging our family. The During that process, we saw and found a need for families that go through that process. One of those being just support, emotional support for the foster families. The other was, I'm a sales guy, and I know that if I can take away an objection or address an objection early, then I'm more likely to come to a good result in a close. And most men think financially when it comes to adopting a child. That's it, immediately where their mind goes. Women, it's more about the heart, the feelings, the blessings, and this stuff, while the man's stressed out, how are we going to feed another mouth type thing.
Hmm.
And so, also, there was a huge need for foster children foster parents in the state of Texas. And so we started recruiting through our church and recruiting quality families. Well, Chosen Ones became what it is because of the support that we're able to offer: beds, clothing, shoes. Most kids in foster care come with what will fit in a Walmart sack, and it's usually two sizes too small.
Mm.
So we have a warehouse and a store that has clothing of all sizes, and it's nice stuff because we sort through it. Um, we have food. We're a partner with the Tarrant Area Food Bank. We're a pantry. So we have food, we have formula, we have baby food, we have snacks, proteins, we have everything. We have baby beds, car seats, bouncy seats, all this stuff that families can come and shop for free.
Wow. Where's that
We've never,
located?
it's in Fort Worth.
Okay.
It's right at the edge of Fort Worth and North and Hurst, right
Okay.
there, right at the loop, and it's close to Northeast Mall.
Wow.
And it's kind of centered in Tarrant County. And so we serve that community. And then 5 years ago, we also brought in and rolled in community care. And that is pregnant moms, moms with children under 36 months. They get the same benefit that our foster families get as well. And we're able to take and serve more people. And I think, the last time I checked, we'd served probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 40,000 kids last year.
Whoa. Randy, I did not know this
And
about you. You
and
think you
then
know somebody?
yeah, and then here's the
Oh.
funny thing. Vicky has been talking to me and talking to me, and she has a dream. And there are a lot of kids that when school's out, they don't get to eat much.
Yeah.
They get the free lunch at school, but there's kids in our country, in our state, and in our communities that are hungry. And so Vicky wants to buy an old ice cream truck and convert it into a mobile snack truck
Yeah.
where we can take it to the community and not give it to the parents. We're going to give it to the children so that they have something to eat. Last week, we had one of our partners sent an email to Vicky about an experience that she had. And these two boys saw her unloading these dry food bags, brown paper sacks. And he goes, "Ma'am, what's in those bags?" And she said, "Food." And one of the boys said, "Well, if we help you unload these, you think we could get a food bag?" We didn't have any food all weekend. And so that's Vicky's dream, is to get a truck
Mm,
and go out into these communities, underserved communities, and provide food for the kids.
good for y'all.
It's not the kid's fault that they're in the situation they're in, it's the parent. And we don't want to give it to the parent because, the parent might sell the food
Hmm.
or trade it for something. We want to put it in the kid's hands where it will be, you know, consumed.
Right. Yeah, I do. In my little community, I live, over in Van Alstyne right now. I grow every year. I do a garden, big garden, huge garden. It's a lot. It's where I spend all my free time, and I give a lot of it away. A lot of it. I eat plenty. Neighbors and all that we share, and but every year is pretty much a bumper crop, and I'm committed in my sphere of circle, my sphere of influence. If someone's hungry, I've got food. You know, it's not
Right.
prime rib. I haven't figured out how to grow a prime rib yet. It's when I do, I will. And so,
Right. Many,
uh,
many of them.
many of them. But man, what a what a wonderful thing y'all are doing. Wow. Um, we're about running out of time. I want to hit you up with some rapid fire questions,
Sure.
and then we'll get into how people can find you. So real quick, Harley or pickup?
Um, that's a tough one. It'd have to be because of where I live and the farm. It'd have to be a pickup.
All right,
I know
and to
that
be fair,
disappoints you, but I'm
no, to
just
be
being
fair, you
fair.
do already have a Harley, so so okay. Mountains, beach, or hill country?
Mountains, definitely.
All right, coffee or sweet tea?
Coffee.
All right. Being from Tennessee, what's your favorite meal from Tennessee?
So we had this thing called, there's two. Haven't had either in many, many, many years. But one would be fried corn, and that is field corn. It's not sweet, but it's got bacon grease and all this stuff in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, cook it in an iron skillet. It's amazing. And then the second would be my mom used to make. We always had a garden, and she used to make tomato gravy.
Oh, yes. My mom too. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Nice. Yeah. That's some good stuff. Favorite Texas barbecue?
Probably Cooper's barbecue
Cooper's? That's good. That's good. Uh, let's see. Favorite place that you've ever visited?
would probably be St. John's New. We call it Newfoundland, but up there they call it Newfoundland.
Okay, yeah, up there, yeah. Morning rider or sunset rider?
Sunset.
Sunset, nice. Do Paladaro Canyon someday.
Oh, I
Uh,
want to. That'd be
yeah,
nice.
just random. I got a wealth of useless information. So they Indiana Jones, the Last Crusade, they finished up that whole movie, and I believe post production, um, the Spielberg wasn't happy with the end of the movie, and they were like, "Well, you got to go out. You got to go to Paladar Canyon." So they did the sunset riding off into the sunset scene on the horses,
Yes.
Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. Um, that was filmed at Paladar Canyon. So they took, yeah, I mean, they were done with the movie, but they regrouped everybody, went out there, did the shoot for that, and probably one of the best movies ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't I didn't know that, but out in this area, especially in Texas, Taylor Sheridan's done a lot of filming
yeah,
and stuff with a lot of things, and in Springtown you may run into Billy Bob Thornton. Downtown Fort Worth, you could run into, one of the actors and things. There's just a ton of filming around, this area of the Metroplex.
good.
So it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me that that was filmed there.
Yeah. Well, Randy, you're thriving. You're serving your community. You've got a wonderful uh, organization, nonprofit organization helping, um, and you got a great branding with the Harley-Davidson in your real estate business. You're the guy that's going to show up on the motorcycle when someone's in and help them find their next home and at
That's right.
closing. That's pretty cool. How best? What are the ways that people can get a hold of you if they're looking to move to, I guess, Wise County, Tarrant County, Texas? What's the best way they can get a hold of you?
So they can always call United Real Estate, our office in Dallas. I've never been there. I hear it's nice, but you can always call there. You can always call me direct at 817-800-3917. You can find me on Facebook. I have several pages, Randy Akins Real Estate Group. I also have uh, the Riding Realtor. So, and then look for me. I'm on a waiting list of a billboard. I've got my eyes on a billboard. It's gonna have a nice house in the background I sold this year, and then me in the forefront with my bike, standing beside my bike. And you know, it's funny. One of the things I learned in real estate was to be top of mind
Hmm.
for people. And people aren't going to remember Randy Akins, but for some reason, the writing realtor sticks in their
Yeah.
mind. And I can walk into my men's group on a Wednesday and it's like, hey, there's the writing realtor. I know it sticks because I hear it. And so look for the writing realtor, call me, I'll serve you. I served our country with honor and I'll serve families exceptionally.
All right. All right. I'll put the links down below wherever you're consuming this. I'll link up chosen ones as well so that people can
Awesome.
learn more about that. And we're definitely going to come on and do another podcast just on chosen ones. There's a huge conversation there. So,
Yeah,
uh,
you can have Vicky on that one.
okay.
We'll
Yeah.
bring Vicky in on that one.
Okay. We'll do it. Man, Randy, you think you know someone, then I love what I do. I'm a mortgage lender. I get this podcast I get to host, and then but it gives me an opportunity to go deeper and uncover things I didn't know about my realtor friends and my friends in general. And so I want to thank you for being a guest on the Between Two Doors podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I was really excited when I saw you and you said, and then I got an email from you that you'd like to do this. And so I'm really excited, and hopefully people get to know a little more about me than just my name on a card.
All right. There you go. That'll wrap it up for us. If you're Wise County, Tarrant County, look up Randy, the Riding Realtor. And as always, I'm your host, Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy of Between Two Doors. If you need any kind of lending advice or guidance, you can always reach out to me directly. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you. Have a good day.